The age of Elon Musk on Twitter began with a shakeup. His style of shock management meant that personalities previously hushed and outright banned got their voice anew. Along with some really huge names, smaller accounts were restored too. And now one of them has drawn the attention of millions. Jacob Creech, self-described bioethics whistleblower, posted the very information that had earned him a ban. And oh boy, people are reading.
Now that I have everyone's attention, allow me to address why U.S. establishment politicians are sending tanks, jets, weapons, equipment, and $100 billion plus to Ukraine. It has nothing to do with Ukrainian citizens and everything to do with deep state assets, secrets in Ukraine.
And apparently with biological weapons. See, according to Creech, the stepping stones of the project were laid by the then Senators Barack Obama and Richard Lugar in 2005. They went on a tour of Ukraine's chemical and biological research facilities and agreed to fund what they called countering the spread of bioweapons. Washington effectively bought the equivalent of a controlling stake in some of Ukraine's labs. From that moment on, the U.S. were calling the shots there, only to keep dangerous substances out of bad people's hands, of course.
The possession by hostile states or terrorist groups of nuclear, chemical, and biological weapons of mass destruction or related materials or means of delivery represents the greatest threat to the national security of the United States in the 21st century.
Now, according to Creech, Ukraine's labs were put under the supervision of Metabiota, a U.S. firm with expertise in dealing with deadly viruses like Ebola. The source claims that the company even built secret biolab companies in Ukraine after the 2014 revolution. And Washington was very protective of its secrets.
They started a civil war. They picked their puppet to run the government, creating a deep state proxy. Now with complete control of the Ukrainian government, then the Bidens began their dirty work. Biden visited Ukraine 13 plus times, securing U.S. funding for Ukrainian oligarchs, then used his power to fire a state prosecutor who figured out Biden's kickback laundering scheme.
When Russia accused the U.S. of facilitating biological warfare research on Ukraine's soil, mainstream media did everything to disparage and downcry the storm. It was a crazy conspiracy, a disinformation campaign, and anyone who dared as much as try to see if there's just a kernel of truth to it was labeled a traitor.
Actual Russian propaganda. Traitorous. Russia also said the Lugar Center in Georgia was making zombies.
Tulsi Gabbard is parroting false Russian propaganda. Her treasonous lies may well cost lives.
And in this cacophony of mudslinging, it was quite easy to miss what some officials had to say on the matter. Like when senior American diplomat Victoria Nuland voiced concerns over Russia getting access to Ukrainian labs, or the World Health Organization recommending Kyiv outright destroys evidence.
Does Ukraine have chemical or biological weapons?
Ukraine has biological research facilities. We are working with the Ukrainians on how they can prevent any of those research materials from falling into the hands of Russian forces should they approach.
So maybe American guns, bombs, and now tanks sent to Ukraine aren't just meant to protect Kyiv, but rather Washington's secrets.